Hello and welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is a show where we talk about everything from liturgy
to Lexapro. Hello, friends. We're
Woo!
so happy to be
Hello.
here. Woo!
Happy Lent.
Happy Lent. We
That's a
did
weird
it.
thing to say.
We did it. Oh gosh.
This comes out the first Friday in Lent.
Hope you had
Oof.
your fish today. Hope you remembered that we're not supposed
Hope
to
you
have meat
remembered. Hope you didn't pull a
today.
Juliana. Do you know this story?
No.
Did I put her on blast? Yeah,
Sure. Why
she would
not?
sell it if she was here.
She'd love it.
One time Juliana ate an entire rotisserie chicken on a Friday in Lent and then realized it was a Friday in Lent.
I love that it was an entire rotisserie chicken.
An entire rotisserie chicken.
Like that's
not even
extreme.
like a little. I had something with chicken on it. I accidentally had a slice of pepperoni pizza. That's like the fullest of full sends into meat.
An entire rotisserie chicken is pretty extreme. That's pretty intense.
Pretty extreme on a normal day.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
yeah.
Well, happy first Friday in Lent to anyone.
Hope you didn't do that.
To everyone.
And if you did, it's still okay.
Including Juliana. We pray that, we pray that she is able to like get it together for this Friday. And
sending up some prayers.
Yeah, every Friday in Lent, usually I set like an alarm on my phone that says like no meat today.
Really
it's like my first
idea.
alarm and it says no meat today. So I like don't forget. Yeah. But the thing is where it gets me is like then you get like bacon. Like a maple bacon donut or and then it's like I know
like, we've had the issue with like a breakfast sandwich with bacon in it. Like you're not thinking about
it's like
you're
the
not
covert.
eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's just the cross we bear, y'all. But you know what?
It's hard out here.
Yeah, but
this is the real sacrifice.
I know.
This is what needs to be talked about.
We're all suffering. But Jasmine, I want to ask, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing so good. My brother and his lovely, amazing, just breathtaking wife are here visiting. And actually, she is in the room with us.
In our studio.
Have to address the elephant in the room.
Do we have a live studio audience
We have
today?
a live studio audience today.
Wow.
And I'm feeling very
Can we get like a pan?
Like it's happening.
Can we get like a little pan?
Show you?
Is she shy?
Okay, she's like, I literally didn't get
dressed for this. Live studio audience.
Now you see her, now you don't.
Wow.
So Elizabeth is here. So we're going to have a little laugh track in the background. We're so excited.
Love.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for
being here.
Wonderful children. And so my kids have been playing with their cousins and they're so tired and they're having so much fun. And so everything has been great. It's been such a good week.
I love that.
How
love
are
that.
You?
Well, I am great because it has been a great couple days so far of the week. I got to go to your house and hang out with Elizabeth and Josh, your brother, and their cutie little kids, and see your cutie kids. And, anytime I just get to hang out with you guys is always a good time. But we especially got to hang out and I got to eat good food with you guys, which is doubly good. Yeah, which is doubly good. So I'm doing pretty well. I'm going to a training for the perpetual pilgrims that are walking in the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage this summer. So cool. I'm going to a training for them for the rest of the week. So leaving tomorrow, excited for that. Everyone, check out nationalyeucharisticpilgrimage.org. See if it's going through your diocese and join us.
Yes.
So doing well, just kind of vibing, It's going to be 30 degrees in Minnesota where we're having this training.
Oh, no, that's where it is. I was going to ask. I'm scared for you.
Yeah, it's in Minnesota. It's a high of 30 degrees.
You're going to be cold. Do you still have your parka?
I do.
Okay,
good. I was going to text you and your sister if I should wear my like sleeping bag parka or the one that like hits at my waist. Probably
the sleeping bag one.
Okay.
I'd go all the way. Are you going to be outside?
People aren't going to make fun of me?
No. Are you going to be outside?
Not as much. They're like going to try to keep
Is it like highs of 30 or lows of 30?
Like a high of 30 degrees.
Chenele, wear the sleeping bag parka.
No, but are people going to make fun of me? Because in Denver, people made fun of me.
People might make fun of you, but will you be warm?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's more important?
People
might make fun of you even in the other parka.
Would
you rather be warm?
That's true. This was a learning moment, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm going to pack my sleeping. I'm going to post it on our Instagram stories. Keep a watch out. I will be wearing my sleeping bag parka.
Yeah, we need to see you. We need to see you full parka.
It looks like I'm walking around in a sleeping bag, but I cannot wait. So thank you for the encouragement.
What we're done with now that you're 30?
Yeah,
is not dressing practical because you're afraid people will make fun of you. It's done.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. Yeah.
I know. You said now that you're 30, you don't care what anybody thinks about you.
You're actually right. So get ready, world. I'm walking around in my sleeping bag tomorrow.
As you should. That's what I expect. It's what I love.
Yeah. Jasmine, are you ready for some anti-depressing Catholic news?
I really am.
Okay, because we got a good story today.
Share it.
We're talking some Super Bowl news today because I actually watched it this year, and so that's like coming up.
This is a sports podcast.
Yeah, that's coming up. This has now become a sports network. But for our anti-depressing Catholic news and happy Catholic news, we have 2 bishops that have set a wager for the Super Bowl and promised to support life regardless of who wins, which is really exciting. So a little bit more about it. Yep. The Bishop of Kansas City and the Bishop of San Francisco set a wager that whoever won the Super Bowl would send each other a gift. And so the Bishop of Kansas City promised that he would send San Francisco like a gift package from their jazz museum because they're famous for jazz. And the Bishop of San Francisco said that he would share rice-a-roni because San Francisco is apparently famous for rice-a-roni.
That's
and so he would send a big
gift.
pack. Yeah, what a gift. And regardless, both of them would support each other's local pregnancy centers to increase the love for life. So, which is cool news. And so love to see your money where your mouth is. And now that the Chiefs won, hopefully the Bishop of Kansas City loves rice-a-roni because that is coming to his front door.
Get that rice-a-roni, get some support for some moms. We love to hear it.
It's a double win.
What's better? What's better than rice-a-roni and moms?
What's better? A Chiefs win? I don't know.
So
depends on who's listening.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, so who knows? But you know what? God bless the bishops for supporting life in a real way.
I love that. I like that wager in like a really fun, light,
why
but
not?
like actually gonna make some change.
Yep.
I love that.
Why not? Let's get out there, get in the streets. Let's get some rice-a-roni.
Let's get in the streets.
Let's get in our bag. Love it. So, Jasmine, I feel like I'm kind of ready to dance.
Are you ready to dance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was some like genie in the bottle stuff.
Thank you so much.
I was trying not
to make it too spicy. Yeah, I was trying not to.
I know you're feeling pretty inspired from that Usher halftime show. It's hard to tame it in.
Yeah, so I was.
It's hard to know what dancing is, where the line is.
Yeah, I was trying to chill a little bit. So
I know.
Speaking of that, for our first story, let's recap the Super Bowl.
Oh, and
by recap, I mean
not the parts you care about.
That part,
not the sportsy parts.
And by that part, I mean we will talk a little bit of sports, but I am still learning. Jasmine is much more knowledgeable about all of that stuff, so she will.
You're learning.
She
so
will
much,
speak
though.
in that. She can speak to that.
There we go.
I am learning a lot more, so I can't speak to that, but. The things that I can speak to is that this year I actually watched. I watched it from beginning to end. Usually I'm there for the snacks and for the halftime show. But I watched it from beginning to end. I asked questions. Your brother and your husband are awesome at answering questions because I was asking questions from beginning to end and they were rock stars.
To end. Yeah, but
not
good
mean
questions.
about it.
You were educated. You know what I love that's happening right now in the world? It's like the NFL is walking the line of like now being a pop culture media source. And then pop culture media sources are now also trying to report on sports news. And there are just no boundaries anymore between pop culture and sports. And everybody's like, I'm talking about anything. Anything is relevant. Like everything is just a mesh now. There are no boundaries.
Why not? Yeah.
And I kind of love it.
Yeah. I love it too.
We're all the same.
Yeah, I saw a commercial for Mandarin Oranges this morning that were saying, you know how Travis Kelce, when he was up on the stage or whatever, he was like, Viva Las Vegas. It was like the Mandarin Oranges saying Viva Las Vegas. And
that was a quick turnaround.
But in like orange language, so it like wasn't actually English. But everyone in the comments was like, "How did I understand this? Like, how did I know the exact
how did I know
reference?
What you meant?
Yeah,
That's
how did
hilarious.
I know exactly what you meant? Because now like the lines are crossed to where we no longer are a divided nation.
we are not a nation divided anymore.
And who would have
thought?
Healed. All it took was that. All it took was Usher. So
that's
which
it.
I
all
knew
it took
the
was
whole
Usher.
time. During Black History Month, that's what it took.
Usher truly healed us.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Thank you, Usher. So,
which I know we're going to get to, but let's focus on what happened first. Let's focus on the snacks.
So a couple of my highlights are, one, loved the Black History Month opening. Loved it.
Yes.
Loved the snacks. So all of those things were my highlights. Love spending time with you all. Highlights. But I want to focus in on snacks. I want to say that whenever I eat around Jasmine, it is always on point. At her parents' house, at her house, at another relative's of hers house. It is all like, it's just I don't know if it's something.
You always recap it on the pod.
I always talk about what you make for me to eat. And I just want to say, I don't know if it's like a Midwest, like you all just kind of make really comfy food, or I don't know. I don't know if that's like a conspiracy that I've made up in my own mind.
No, I think that's true.
Okay. But every item I have is always like definition comfy. So Jasmine's brother turned up. He made brats, which if anyone has never had them, so good. Did not know what they were. They're essentially just like really dressed up jazzy hot dogs. So good. And they have, you can put like sauerkraut on them, etc. They were so good. Then we had buffalo chicken dip. You guys can't even talk about it. I wish I took a picture of it. It was, and you know it was good because I was standing next to your sister-in-law, Elizabeth, and when I opened up the pot, like the crock pot, the oil from the cheese was settling at the top, and I just looked at her and we were both like, yeah. And I didn't even stir it.
Slap. Yeah.
Like I didn't even stir it. We were both like,
just
that's
get
it.
that oil right on top.
Like that's it. Just scoop some of that oil in the bowl. Oh my gosh. It's so good. And we had like pickle dip. What other dip? You had like chip dip, beer cheese dip. So good. So those were my highlights. Loved it. What is your favorite Super Bowl snack, dude? Like
dips. Just
love
dips.
It. Yeah.
Any dip is my favorite Super Bowl snack. And honestly, since the Super Bowl, that's just like what we've been eating in the house because there's so many leftover dips. Yeah. And so I keep singing the "When you dip, I dip, we dip" song. Like that's my anthem. That is the anthem of the week.
Steven's like, I don't know. Your husband's like, I don't know. Like, is it great that the kids like, you know what? But they might just think it's about chips.
They think it's about chip dip. Okay. Yeah. So I'm teaching
you put your
kids.
hands up on your hips. Yeah. Then you dip.
Hands up on my hips. When you dip, I dip, we dip. That is about chip dip. That's
whatever.
That's
no, it's definitely about buffalo dip.
That's about 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, dude. Majority highlight was the dips faux show. So good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So good.
Your brother rock and rolled. Thank you so much. God bless him. And then, my second highlight was Usher's halftime performance. It was amazing. I thought
it was incredible.
It was incredible. I thought it was one of the best halftime performances ever.
I
remember exactly where I was when Beyonce did like her, when Coldplay.
I thought you were going to say I remember exactly where I was, like during the Usher performance, and I was like, that was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago. Lol. No, yes, I remember exactly where I was when I watched Usher halftime perform, and I also remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when Coldplay had their Super Bowl halftime, but it was technically the Beyonce and Bruno Mars show because I don't even remember Coldplay like actually doing anything. And so I think between those two, like those were just, but Usher killed it. That was just like one
Usher
of the best
really
performances
killed it and brought
I have
up
ever seen.
So many good people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many good people.
So good. So it was awesome and I loved it. And this was actually the best thing I have ever seen. Loved it.
Truly.
He played bops from when I was a middle schooler to when we were in college and just like
some of the songs I honestly forgot about.
Yeah.
I forgot those existed.
So good. And my favorite was, two favorite moments from Usher. One was when he brought out Ludacris and Lil Jon.
Oh,
it needed to happen.
And when they came out and you knew what was about to happen,
it needed.
You were like,
dude,
yes.
Yeah, when Ludacris came out, I lost my mind. Like
so
it was
good.
so good.
So good.
Second moment.
Okay,
You can speak on that.
one of our favorite moments from Usher's performance, and possibly the whole Super Bowl, was my youngest daughter, Joy, was with us watching the Usher halftime show. And you can come for me if you want, but I don't care because I know some people were like, oh, so inappropriate, whatever. Usher is a classic.
She just sees lights. She has no idea what's happening.
Yeah, she doesn't know what's happening. Okay, so whatever. But she was in awe. Like the show started and all of a sudden we all look at Joy and she is like jaw dropped. Like she had just seen the craziest thing in the world. Like she was watching an acrobatic circus. Like because there was so much happening. Like there were so many flips, there was tricks, and then there was Usher in the all white suit singing. And
she's clapping like this. She's like
slow clapping, like couldn't take her eyes off of it. And then she kept saying, "This is magical," over and over again.
And Jasmine was like, really? Like, you think it's magical?
Like, magical. And he was like geeking out. And she kept like covering her face. She loved it. She's a big Usher fan. And we took a video of it and we were all like, this is just the greatest. This was the greatest reaction to Usher. Because isn't this how we all feel? Like when we hear Usher, and especially when we heard Usher for the first time.
Absolutely.
Magic.
Yeah, he was one of my first crushes. And I was like,
I know.
Joy, you have good taste.
He is the crush that transcends generations. Like we all feel it.
So thank you, Usher.
Thank you, Usher, for making us all feel like little kids seeing you for the first time again. You really did it. And the next day, Steven started playing an Usher song to see what Joy would do. And she was like, show me the video. She was like, don't be playing this and not screen mirroring the video. Like, let's see. Play the halftime show.
I cannot,
Loves
dude.
it.
She is too much. Your daughter is too much.
Great taste.
Love it. So those were some major highlights for us. Lastly, some big highlights for the nation, I guess. It was a most televised Super Bowl of all time with 123 million people. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Maybe it was because...
You're welcome, networks.
Usher... Maybe Taylor Swift. Maybe
I think a combo.
The pans of all the celebrities that are there. And that's usually the case. But I really think
so many celebrities go.
Yeah, but I think though, like, I mean, Taylor Swift, she upped those numbers.
Yeah.
For sure.
So many Swifties were watching the Super Bowl that never watched it.
Yeah.
You know, it was happening.
For sure. And then like Usher is an exceptional halftime performer. Like people were excited about it because younger people were like, oh, cool. Like, I know Usher's like newer songs, but then older people like millennials were like, oh my gosh, if he brings out Lil Jon, like I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah,
the guest appearances were like, we didn't even know who it could be. So it was just amazing.
It was a lot of options.
123, she did. 123 million people, you know, agree with us. So most watched Super Bowl in history. And and we just have some, the Chiefs has some awesome players that, you know, thank God for their gifts and talents. And we love to see that. And so it's just all around like.
Yeah, that video you sent of all the players, like did you read about like the reason that they made that video? So there was a video that like got sent out to a bunch of inmates and was like shown in prisons and in jails to inmates about like the reason behind people that are playing sports and like the deeper meaning in life and the idea of like forgiveness and all of that. Like it was all kind of packed in there. And so they interviewed players about like kind of explaining the context and then interviewed them about like why they play and what their motivation is and like where they see God in like playing the game of football. And it was so powerful and like really cool to hear them talking about their faith so openly. And I know like too, Brock Purdy, who's the 49ers quarterback, also is like really open about his faith. And so it's cool to see people on both sides that are like so devout and so open. And special shout out to the Chiefs kicker. We love him. I'm like, should we ever say his name? I know we've been anticipating being like, we're never going to say his name. We should. The Chiefs kicker, she whispers it. But he was great and openly Catholic. We love a Catholic NFL star. And one of his best friends is David Henry, who we know him, the king of Wizard of Waverly Place, which is coming back.
He's a wizard.
He's
Harry.
a wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
And he was there supporting his friend. They got a selfie with Taylor Swift. They did the whole thing, the whole
some may say
thing that people do.
The Trinity. Some may say.
Some may say. We didn't.
I didn't.
But some
may say.
Yep. Some might say it. But so I love just seeing so many people open and willing to talk about their faith.
Agreed.
Like that and like giving that glory back to God. And in a time where like I think so many people are jaded and will be like, oh, they've like taken God out of everything, and nobody has a faith life and nobody has whatever. It's like you can't actually watch post-game interviews and feel like that when so many people are like giving glory to God. And like when you're at a football game, like before the game starts, so many players go and like kneel in the end zone and pray for like a good amount of time before they start a game. Like there's a lot of like faith and devoutness inside of that sport and inside of most things, if you're like willing to look for it. But if you're just watching a network, like at certain times and you're not really paying attention, you're not going to see it. And so I think it's important that we like kind of are reminded of these stories of like actual like legitimate men of God who are also playing a sport,
and that are beautiful.
And that are beautiful. Let us not forget.
Stunning. Let us not forget that they are stunning. So next year, I hope to see, what is his name? Next year, I hope to see Joe Burrow out there, as I think that he is.
I know you do. He's your NFL crush.
So,
oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost didn't share this.
What?
In very important NFL news.
Yeah.
You guys.
I know what you're about to say. Yeah.
One of my sister's friends was working at the Super Bowl, and she was working with Jordan Love. If you don't know who he is, stop listening to this podcast. Just kidding. Quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, rookie. We love him. And he my sister's friend FaceTimed her, and he was trying to like say hi to her and like give a shout out to her family, but it was hard to hear. And so then he made a video and was like, hey, Teofilo family, like go Pack go. And like, this is Jordan Love. So crazy. And my family, this is like now our most prized possession. Like over almost any video I think we have of each other. Like this is it now.
There it is.
It's this video of Jordan Love.
Noelle's
so that's how I want to be remembered.
Whatever.
Yeah. First video of my children walking. I don't know.
Who cares?
I'm sorry. I recorded over it with the Jordan Love video. I'm so sorry. This is everything to us.
Tina's the MVP family member moving forward.
She is. Tina was already the favorite, but like she has now elevated.
Double down.
Yeah,
for sure.
She really sealed the deal. She wanted to make sure that she secured that spot for life, and she did.
As she should.
So
Thank you, Jordan Love, for your love. We love you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Mwah. So in our next story, we're going to talk about love more. We're going to talk about Valentine's Day. And we're just going to talk about it for a second because I can't. And then we're going to move on and we're going to talk about Ash Wednesday. Woo! So it's coming up.
Much more in Chenele's lane.
Much more in my speed suffering. So we're going to talk about Ash Wednesday. Let's talk sacrifices and resolutions. Let's just like chat about, but first off, because I do love. Let's talk about like, what are you and your baby? What is, now that you like have kids, I'm sure getting away for Valentine's Day, especially with Valentine's Day being on Ash Wednesday, that's just like a tough
not really
tough
like
time.
An upper
not
mood,
really an upper. But like I would love to hear just like a favorite Valentine's Day memory you have with your baby. And like, do you guys even celebrate? Like, what does that look like? What are your thoughts on the day of love?
I'm going to give you not exactly what you want right now, I don't think.
Love.
And that is to say that Stephen and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Love.
Never have. Never been super into it. I honestly just was never that into it. And we were long distance our whole dating journey. And so it's like, and we had no money. So like we didn't really do gifts anyways. We're like, I'm paying so much money to go visit you. So Valentine's Day was just kind of like a frivolous thing. We couldn't make it happen. It wasn't going to happen. And so we still don't really get into it. And even with the kid, I'm like, I should probably be more fun on Valentine's Day for my kids. But like at their homeschool co-op, we did Valentine's Day 2 weeks ago because they were like, oh, we don't want to do it on a Friday in Lent.
Yeah.
And so we did it 2 weeks ago. And it was cute and it was fun and all of that. But I just don't get that into it. I love it for people who do. I love the idea of like the flowers and the chocolates and the cutes. But that just sounds like a lot of extra work to me. You know, life is already a lot of work. And so,
love. Fair.
You know,
fair.
That's just me. I don't know. I'm not that into it. Are you into Valentine's Day?
I don't know.
Do you think if you're in a relationship, that would be important to you?
I don't know. Well, you know what? I take it back. Growing up, my dad was the like, every day is Christmas. Every day is Valentine's Day kind of guy.
I know little things are important to you. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like an excuse to never celebrate anything. So I would do it. I would probably think it's important to know that somebody like actually.
Yeah, it's a nice reminder.
Yeah, to be like, look, hey, like, and we don't even. It could literally just be like, you got me like a 10-piece, like chicken biscuit from in the heart box from Chick-fil-A, and like that's what you got me.
No, that's fair.
Then I would be like, that's really nice, thanks. Just like something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, out here this year, Valentine's Day is on Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent.
What a complicated day.
Ooh. So for all my single baddies out here, we are just reminded of our long-term suffering, the cross that we bear.
Baby.
Remember that we are dust. So, you know, whatever, I guess. And so, you know, for Ash Wednesday, I'm talking, you know, what kind of sacrifices, what kind of resolutions am I going to make? And something that
Aren't you already sacrificing by not having a baby on Valentine's Day? I don't feel like you have anything to give up. That's my advice to you.
She said it. So
that's it. That's just my advice.
I'm sacrificing.
You're sacrificing enough.
Being single, that's my sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because I know that I would be blessing a man so much.
You would be. So but you're choosing
to not be in a relationship.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's my sacrifice.
100%.
Wow. So
that's what I think.
That's it.
And that's my hot take. I know that your life is like full and beautiful.
Yeah.
Regardless. But I'm just saying, I think you could write yourself off.
I'm going to write it off like a tax.
I know. Because I know sometimes you get a little sad girl vibes on Valentine's Day.
I do.
So like, don't do more to yourself. I don't know.
That's real. That's real.
You're welcome.
So tomorrow, you guys, I'm gonna eat. What is it? Like eat a small meal that's not equivalent to a large meal. 2
small meals that don't make up
like
your
a big
large meal.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna do the regular Ash Wednesday thing.
You're gonna do the stuff.
Yeah, but other than that, you guys, I'm gonna just reflect on like how much I'm sacrificing just by not blessing a man this year. So maybe next year. Next year I'll
you deserve that.
Change it up. So
love more that. Interesting.
Love that.
Keep things a little crazy. Wait, can you tell your story?
Oh, yes. So for our like final little kickoff today, before we launch into the wish you guys like a blessed rest of your Ash Wednesday and week. I just want to share this encouraging moment from Sunday Mass last week. So I went to Mass. It was wonderful. Priest was great. Homily on fleek. He was like, hey, you guys, here's the deal. Amazing. Yeah, it's rare to get all those things at the same time. So he was like, hey, you guys, I want to talk to you guys about confession. You know, everyone's like, oh, gosh, like nobody loves to talk about confession. But he was like, hey, I want to talk to you guys about confession for real because, you know, it's Lent. It would be a great time. The church asks us if we're going to go once a year and go during like Lent, Easter, try to make it then. And so he was like, hey, I just want to say, if you're afraid to go or you haven't gone in a long time, that's okay because it's good that you're there. And he was like, some people think when they go to confession that they're at their worst. Like you might have not gone to confession for years. You might not have walked into a church for years. You might not, you might have like a horrible relationship with God. But going to confession and thinking like, oh, I'm at my worst is actually not true because you're at your best. You're at your best when you show up and give God an opportunity to work on you. And that, I was like, that is it. That is it. So I just want to say to everybody, if you're listening and you're like, hey, I'm kind of like just kind of vibing. Maybe I haven't been to church in a while. Maybe my relationship with God is kind of whatever. Maybe whatever it is. And you're like, I don't know. I feel like I just kind of need to reconcile a little bit and kind of get back into the mix. Just remember, you're at your best when you give God an opportunity to work on you. And that's the vibe. That's the vibe that we can have like all Lent, you know, just remind ourselves that we're not actually at our worst. And so hope that's encouraging.
I really love that. I actually love that for all of life. That actually when you're like humble enough to admit that you made a mistake, or when you're humble enough to admit that like there's something about you that you need to work on, that is not you being at your worst, that's actually you being at your best, because you're admitting that something isn't going right and that you need to make a change. And then you're like, when you say it out loud, you're committing to making that change. You know,
yeah,
it's the same as like when parents apologize to their kids, or like when you apologize to a friend. It's like you might feel like, oh, I'm at my lowest, or seeing me like at my weakest, at like my most vulnerable. But it's like, no, like they're seeing you at your best because you're being willing to acknowledge you made a mistake and that there will be change now.
Whoa, connecting that to parents. That was a flex, Jasmine, connecting that to parents, because I think
that
about
one got me. That one got me good.
The times that my parents have said sorry to me, they might have been like, my mom might have been like, man, that was a really low moment for me that I knew I hurt your feelings. But to me, it was huge that she apologized for me, because she felt that was like one of her best moments, like being raw,
like you felt like that was it, like when you were able to like be seen like that.
That's a word.
So cool.
Wow,
that's
you guys,
fascinating. I love that. That's a good thing to carry through Lent.
Look at that, you guys. Well, we're just dropping bombs over here. We want you guys, you know, spiritual nuggets. We want y'all to have. Oh,
you're back.
Okay, spiritual nuggets. We want y'all to have a wonderful Lent. And we'll see you guys week to week. Maybe we'll talk about what our favorite Lenten, Friday meal is. Mine is the Culver's shrimp plate, you know.
Oh, yeah. We already know that's
mine. That's so good. So, yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. We love y'all. The world might be depressing, but we're not.
Are not.
So we'll talk to you guys soon.
Have a great Friday.
Love y'all.
Love ya. Bye.